morning conference. Could those at the back of the hall and those milling around take a seat, please, because we'll start as soon as we can now.
Anyway, for the Lindsey Oil Refinery, and of course we have seen fantastic strikes over the last week, and I think major victories, and Keith is going to tell them about it.
Well, first of all, brothers and sisters, comrades, I would like, on behalf of the Lindsey Oil Strike Committee, of which I was proud to be a member of that committee, and on behalf of every single worker in the construction industry at Lindsey Oil Refinery and also up and down this country, I bring warm fraternal greetings to this meeting. And I think, comrades, we have seen over the last fortnight, which has been quite exhilarating to say the least, we have had a fortnight, that fortnight culminating in 2 days ago. I was in Manchester on Thursday night with the Shop Stewards Committee. John was there, John McEwen was there, was in Manchester waiting for a reply from the employers. But as far as we're concerned, and I think we can go into all the intricate details this afternoon, but as far as we're concerned, we scored a tremendous victory, not only for Lindsey Oil Refinery, but for working people nationally and also internationally. If you just look at some of the media coverage about our strike, where Total, as a multinational company, when they actually sacked 900 workers, that was the thing on the news at 10:30. I found out through the 10:30 news that I'd been sacked. They was using figures of 900. That later changed to around 650. But no matter what, Total took the gloves off and said, we're going to sack 650 workers for trying to stop 51 redundancies in Lindsey Oil Refinery. 51 redundancies that had no consultation, that the lads only had 1 or 2 days to look at the reasons why they was getting made redundant. And if you look from where we came, of looking at those redundancies, and we were saying to the employers, you could share out that work because there was enough work at Lindsey Oil Refinery to reduce hours and to keep those 51 men employed. But we came out because there was no consultation. And on the Thursday, as I've said, they sacked 652, I think it was, workers. And from that, we stood in protest outside of Lindsey Oil Refinery and called on support. We called, shows walked out, the scaffolders walked out, the electricians walked out, and we set up unofficial action outside those gates. And from that first day, we started putting out the call around the construction site for support. And if you look at some of the leaflets what we produced, we actually had around about 30 sites who did support our action. And we sent out pickets around the area of Lindsey Oil Refinery. We sent out pickets in the Midlands, and there was also lads in Wales doing picket duty for us. I think it's the first time we've seen pickets being going out from a dispute for 30 years. And what a tremendous response we got from them construction workers, because they understood quite clearly what it meant at Lindsey Oil Refinery. They'd already seen the dispute in January and February, where we was on strike in January and February, and what we was putting forward in that February dispute was pure and simple class issues about how employers, whether there was national or international, wanted to smash our national agreement. And we was appealing to international workers about that dispute in February, and unfortunately we've got to say quite clearly that there were some sections of the left who didn't support that strike who went along with the right-wing press and said it was xenophobic and said it was racist. They didn't understand, unfortunately, what the workers understood at Lindsey Oil Refinery. It was an attack on our class. It was an attack on every working person in Britain and internationally. We got support from Italy, from Italian unions, who sent emails to us and said quite clearly, that is an attack on your national agreement, and we're not supporting those attacks. The company was RM in January and February, and there was an anti-trade union company. So I think what we put forward in that strike, as well as the strike what we've just had, was pure and simple class issues about bosses attacking workers. I think we'll discuss that this afternoon, about how we organised in the latest dispute. How did we achieve that victory? We achieved that victory by organising on the picket line. We used to have regular meetings in the morning. We used to have the mass picket outside. Both myself and John was put onto the strike committee, and we had the responsibility of organising the pickets. Our mobile phones never stopped from 7 o'clock in the morning to probably 10 o'clock. So there was a 3-hour period where it was, yes Keith, we're on the picket line, the lads have come out in support. And that was like we was getting reports every five seconds to tell us exactly what was going on at the power stations, at the petrochemical plants, and it was overwhelming support. But we had meetings. We discussed with after the initial period of standing outside the Total's gates. We used to have a mass meeting on the car park every day, and there was speeches, there was questions from the workers about which way forward our strike was going, and we had a tremendous rapport with the lads who was on that picket line. They came up with all sorts of questions, all sorts of things what they should be, all sorts of things what we should be putting forward in that strike. I think also